Hello and welcome to the Creativity Broadcast. I'm Laura and I'm here to do another collective creativity reading for us. So if you'd like to just go ahead and sit back, relax, just take a deep breath, or maybe do a little stretch. As always, as I'm moving through this reading, kicking in with your own intuition to see what is applicable for you. Okay. Let's see. Am I jumping straight to the decks? No, let's go ahead and tune in for a moment and see if there's a message. Yeah. I just saw on the left side a bright shining sun. On the left side. It's the feminine side. So let's go ahead and crack open some decks and see what this message is about. I think I'm going to start today with the Starseed Oracle. Just give it a little shuffle here. Hope you all are doing really well. I'm doing this reading 6 days before my first show with my band. I feel like I've been pretty chill and even-handed about this whole process until yesterday when I got home from practice and I was like, oh shoot, we've really only got one practice left. And it's not that we're not prepared. It's more just, I was like, oh, it's real. At practice, we were swapping stories about recurring performance related dreams. And I realized that I've had a stress dream on and off for many years where I'm on stage performing an opera, but I'm not an opera singer and I've had no rehearsal. Anyway, this isn't that, but just kind of has similar vulnerability and similar nerves, you know? It's like a thing I've wanted to do my whole life, so it's not going to just come quietly. Okay. All right. Let's just start here. Over here. Okay. Oh, shoot. The blue flame. Holy crap. It's mildly terrifying. Wow. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Okay, y'all. Oh, this is making me so emotional. The blue flame. Literally, before I read you this, I just need you all to know. I feel like my soul is winking at me right now already in this reading. Okay. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions, and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and much more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. It's kind of a big deal. This isn't easy. The awakening process, even when it's quote-unquote spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. Oof. Wow. Oh my God. If you're in the midst of an awakening, it wants to be sure that you know the process of awakening never actually ends. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. The Starseed activation, it says, place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate my experience each and every day. Wow. Oh my God, blue flame. No kidding. I don't even know where to start. If I talk about my relationship with the blue flame right now, we're gonna be here for like 4 hours. So let me we're gonna do something a little bit different. I am just going to ask Animal Spirit Deck to tell me which part of my blue flame experience should I share with all of you right now, because it's like a lot. And yeah, I feel a little bit punked right now. Hang on a second. Okay, Animal Spirit Deck, help guide me in my sharing. Help guide me in my sharing. Elk. Wow. So this is the card of the month of June for me this year, is elk. Yeah. So I think this is asking me to share with all of you about June. And so elk card, a lot of elk energy is this like very companionable, dependable, kind of divine masculine presence. And if you think about the elk in general, you know, like a full grown elk has these like giant antlers that are kind of this mark of their experience, of like their status. And they're also, the antlers are also there as like a form of protection, you know? So there's definitely a sense of being like led and shepherded and protected. And I think for me, this June was a very intense turning point spiritually, creatively. I've spent the last couple of years really in this process of leaning more into my creative self, leaning more into like my artist's senses, and like using my senses to move through the world, focusing a lot more on like rest and sensation, letting creative projects like my album be something that kind of takes its time to grow instead of something that's like bam, 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 produce it. And when I look across my life on the other end of June, I think the thing that is very different is that I feel a very strong sense of like I've always felt this relationship with my dreams, like being in the band, for example, where there's a connection I have to that dream where it feels like someday it's going to work out, you know, like it's not this feeling of like it'll never happen. It's more of this like quiet, long-term relationship, and just having a lot of faith that my journey is headed there and that someday I'm ending up there and like walking in that direction. And I think one of the things that like the blue flame and the experience of elk have really been asking me to really embody and lean into and take on is like actually choosing that I am secure enough in myself to let these things unfold now, to be the leader of them with a lot of joy and connection. And yeah, I'm not really sure how else to explain that, but yeah, if you've been feeling like you're getting a lot of green lights lately and like a lot of new ideas that feel very new ideas that feel right, not new ideas that feel like a candy rush, like a sugar rush, but new ideas that feel very grounded and like things that you could be in relationship with for a long time. This is the energy that's at play. So, wow, that's so crazy. I also had another card pop out of the deck. It fell on the floor. So let's just take the nudge, guys. Oh my God. You have to be kidding me. Okay. Buffalo. Buffalo is a card that was like coming at me really strong when I was starting to do these readings in the first place. Buffalo is literally so crazy. This energy is like, so you know how I was talking about with elk, like kind of having this sense of being shepherded? Okay, elk is sort of like you have a guide on the earth in real time. Buffalo is kind of like the spirit energy that's unseen that is also a huge guiding force. Like think about if you can envision a mountain in the spirit realm that moves and is like supportive and moving you and guiding you, and also like making things happen behind the scenes really without a lot of energy from you. That's buffalo energy. And I'm just like, I'm kind of marveling at this because yeah, when I first started doing these readings, I was not only getting the buffalo card, but kind of out of nowhere, I was out for a walk and listening to music. And I was like, oh, I should listen to that Jump Little Children song, White Buffalo. I haven't listened to that in a long time. And of course, it's about buffalo. But it made me start thinking a lot about buffaloes from a spiritual perspective. But also one thing that is like a little bit crazy making to me is that the colors in this buffalo card are like literally the colors on the album that song is from. It's just like making me feel kind of insane. Okay. Well, so I think that's just really reinforcing the message here that like divine masculine is ready to support, is ready to like surround you and support you. And where can you be leaning into like friendly support? That's, I think, one of the really big messages here. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. The other thing about Blue Flame before I move on to the next part of this reading is I think since the summer solstice, a lot of people, like my coaching clients and my friends, just like people in my community, I think a lot of people are really aware of just like a stronger connection with their soul right now. That can be kind of part of the Blue Flame experience where it sort of feels out of nowhere, like you're kind of just more alive, you know? So if this is resonating with you, this is a good time to start paying attention to that sense of aliveness as a clue from your soul. Like, what is it that sets your soul on fire? No, I just mean like when do you feel the most alive? How do you know that something in life is part of your intended soul journey? Sometimes simple pleasures or things that we just find a lot of desire emerging, sometimes clues through our bodies, can be really good ways to kind of follow that energy and open up to it. So that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, it's too cool. I can't deal with this. We're going to move forward in this reading with a little bit more of like a practical what to do next. So I'm going to call upon Sacred Rebels Oracle. As you all know, I love Sacred Rebels Oracle. Wow, I'm like kind of blown away by this reading so far. Wow. Talk about green lights. And also pulling a lot of threads together from other recent readings about like leaning into support and being really discerning about who's supporting and why. And I'm also feeling very strongly a nudge here around vulnerability. Like it actually is an act of vulnerability to receive support. and not from a desperation place, just from everything's better when other people are involved, like from a very positive place. All right, so for Sacred Rebels input, we're going to ask for a little bit of guidance around like the best use of our creative energy at this time. I'm getting to Okay, so we've got listening for truth. Comes up a lot on this channel. And it can't just be because I'm kind of having a mermaid phase this summer. Listening for truth, number 36, you can see she's holding this shell up to her ear. And we're also getting number 30, the perfection of your life. All right. We're going to start with listening for truth. It's kind of nice these are both in the 30s. That's interesting. Yeah. Can you see it? Okay, there we go. Listening for the truth. Truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words. It may communicate through a feeling that is hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and the knowledge that somehow everything is going to work out perfectly, even if there is little evidence of how it is all going to happen. You're being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words rather than the superficial message of the words themselves. This is especially true for the communications of those around you. Yeah. So, the part that I want to, I'll just read it. Okay. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it. Don't resent the state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that the truth can be witnessed even when many may want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice. But through your honorable deeds done with integrity, you will be set free, no matter what the outcome. You are a truth seeker. Never deny or try to quieten this down to make others comfortable. You are meant to be an agitator at times, even though you don't have to confront people to do it. You don't necessarily have to say a word, though sometimes you will. Often, you will agitate in the most loving sense, by unveiling truth simply through your knowings. Hold compassion for the truths you behold. Do not use them as knives to cut another or yourself with harshness, but as the clear insight that allows one to loosen the knots that bind, simply by knowing which thread to gently tug. Wow. I think this card is I'm going to try to put something into words that I've only ever felt, but as an example. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just a couple of days away from a pretty big milestone in my life. Like, you know, I was a kid pretending to be the lead singer of a band. Like, it's like 30 years of desire. Some of that hidden beneath a lot of shame and heartbreak. And the closer that I get to it, I can feel all these different parts of me having a lot to say about it. And I can feel this part of me that feels pressure to talk a lot about it or tell people or be like super happy about it. And to be honest, like I am super happy about it. But not in a very like extroverted, performative way. And it's hard. It's like challenging to approach a milestone like this with a lot of presence and even-handedness, especially when it's been something this important and this tender. And I think what this oracle is saying is, hey, right now, all that's really required for you to move forward isn't moving fast and forward, though you are moving forward. But this isn't about like run ahead. This is about deepening in and about being exactly where you are and sinking as far down as you possibly can to what is actually true for you, and listening while you might be feeling burdened by like things other people are saying or talking about or taking it all at face value. This is a moment to not, and to remember that there's like many different dimensions to everything, even just someone's communication, you know? So if you're feeling like bogged down, this is a moment, or maybe you got a no recently. Yeah, that's feeling kind of important as I say that out loud. Maybe if you got a no or you're feeling like there's some setbacks, the opportunity is to actually look a little bit further and think about like, well, maybe this is what the word said, but like what else is true here? What else is true about this? What else is true for me? And using that as like information to support with your peace and also with your integrating, you know, to the point of the blue flame. Woo! That's a lot. Wow. I know I've said before on this channel that like if you have a hard time quieting down, I'm like a really big fan of like putting your legs up the wall, or find some yoga nidra videos on YouTube. They're just like they're kind of like a more active way to be not active, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so now let's check in with number 30, perfection of your life. Okay. Have you ever seen a storm pictured from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite a violent experience. Yeah. So too, there is great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in the natural process, you may be experiencing it as anxiety-inducing rather than beautiful. Gee, I don't know anything about that. Okay. You may sense it as internal chaos. You may feel it as something that is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate, but sense vaguely, nonetheless. Perhaps the chaos is fully fledged, and a person or situation in your life is causing all kinds of havoc, upheaval, or change and uncertainty in your world. Whether the chaos seems subtle, strong, internal, or external, this oracle brings the same message for you. All is unfolding according to a perfect higher order. You are currently enduring a cosmic spiritual storm, which is having an impact on you. It is clearing things out, ruffling feathers, and preparing you for that lovely, super fresh, uplifting feeling that one experiences after the storm has finally passed. If you have drawn the oracle of after the storm as well, this message is amplified for you. Even if you have not chosen that card, but feel intuitively drawn to read the message for it after the healing process below, you are encouraged to do so. If you cannot believe there is anything happening, even at a subtle level, because you feel stuck, denied, bored, thwarted, or stale, like those no's that I was talking about, this oracle brings you a message also. No matter what appears to be, in truth, there is only the unfolding creative genius of the universe. You are not forgotten. You have not been looked over. You have not been denied, found wanting, or rejected as unworthy. The storm that needs to erupt is in your own heart. Do your liberating rain dance. Rage, weep, pray, dance, paint, or sing. Express whatever is needed, however is needed, to exercise the blocked energy in your heart. Then you will call on a powerful perfection of your life path as it aligns for the next creative turn in the spiral of life. Once again, you will trust and directly experience the flower of life unfolding within you and around you. Yeah, this is, wow. Just to pull a couple of threads together, this is really like reinforcing the conversation we've been having on this channel about the cyclical nature of our lives and of our projects, and also of our transformations and our breakthroughs, right? Like everything has a beginning and a middle and also a conclusion. And so this is kind of asking us, I think, to remember that like in the changeover between something ending and beginning, like sometimes it can actually be a very frenetic, chaotic feeling time. And that's actually really good. You kind of need that in order to shake things up and help things leave or go. In fact, I think the reading right before this actually was just about that kind of discernment of like what stays and what goes. Like this is just another kind of iteration of that. So I'm thinking I'd like to read you all the healing process for this in case it's resonating for you. Okay. So she says, imagine that you are standing at the silent center of a great cleansing storm. All aspects of your life are rained upon, blown about, and even messed up a little. How do you feel? The storm then passes, and you are left with soft sunshine and slightly soggy feet. Some parts of your life will have been washed away. Some others will be strong and stable. A bit messy, perhaps, but still there nonetheless. So how do you feel? In this iteration of it, I feel like a quiet relief and a feeling of optimism without grabbiness, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to keep reading now. Underneath your feet, you see a pattern forming in the cleansed earth, as if it is rising up from the damp, slightly disturbed soil. A golden, gleaming geometric pattern of the flower of life glows. Sense the perfection of the form. See how each flower feeds into the next in symmetry, harmony, and balance. Okay, and now there's something to say, so I'll do one sentence and then give space for you to repeat it. I give thanks for the higher order of my life, which I trust implicitly, as it guides me into wholeness and love. From that which appears as chaos, new order is rising. I trust this and receive the gift of higher order in my life now. Through grace and mercy, so be it. That's it. And then she says, relax for a moment, become aware of your feet, and in your own time, go back to your day or evening. You've completed your healing process. If you are very drawn to the flower of life pattern, you may like to research it further and draw or color it into your journal as a visual meditative exercise. Wow. So just a reminder, the Sacred Rebels Oracle is by Alana Fairchild. And I think it's really powerful taking a little time to create awareness about what's it like in these kind of threshold moments when things are leaving and things are coming. And you know how it feels when a storm has finished and there's like the storm is kind of still hanging in the air, but it's starting to clear and like it's safe to go outside again. And you can tell the storm was there, but mostly what's there is like the things that are helpful from it. Like now there's water so that things can grow, and sunshine so that again, helps things to grow and a sense of peacefulness. And I think that's the other thing coming through to me from this message today is that it's okay to let the beginnings take their time. This feeling of the storm having ended also reveals how much the storm was needed. Yeah. I think that's a good place to stop this one today. So I hope this was helpful, powerful. Please feel free to comment below and tell me what you got and what resonated. I always love to hear from you guys. And, if you're working on any projects, if you're like at the beginning stage, let me know. I'd love to follow along your journey. All right. I think that's it. Thanks. We'll see you next time.